Another episode of Daily Refinement. Today we are going to do 3 store reviews. It's been a while since I've done some store reviews and I just want to go over it again. And if you guys are at home and you want to do your own store review for free, I'm going to go over basically 6 things in everybody's store. I'm going to look over titles, I'm going to look over photos, I'm going to look over product mix, I'm going to look over business policies, and I'm going to look over anything that I can see that you can tweak and improve. But again, you can follow along. If you want to purchase one, they are in the link below. But of course, you can just do this for free or ask a friend to take a quick look so you can get a second opinion on your store. I recommend you do this every single week so you can constantly be improving. This is the first store, Sunrise 296. And the first thing is that your photos look fine. You have square photos. When you have the white background, it helps you search on Google better. And I can see that you have a variety of different photos. Some photos look like your home, which kind of gives you a little bit of an unprofessional look on these photos because you have really clean hard goods photos, and then it goes to either your floor or a table for the clothing. So it's a little bit of inconsistency there, which can lower your search ranking because these photos will not be sent to Google because they're not your classic product photo. Also, framing is key. You don't have any negative space around the item. Like your hard goods, you can see I would put a little bit more space to give it more depth so you can get a better idea. Like this photo right here. This playing card box looks a lot more professional, clean, and expensive than this pair of shorts, which takes up, it goes straight to the edge of all 4 corners. I do like that you take square photos, but again, work on the framing. Every time it's off center, it's going to look a little bit odd to a customer and a little bit sloppy maybe. But that being said, you have 58 sales and a 4% sell-through rate, which is consistent for an antique or a random item store. So there's a lot of people who do picking auctions, flea markets, and they find random stuff. The sell-through rate can go really low because it's difficult to find consistency, and the algorithm is going to be confused because it can only recommend you for a specific item versus if you sell, as an example, all gloves, it's going to be easier for the algorithm to match buyers with your search. But if you have all random things, it can make your search ranking really low. That being said, it's the items in your store that really push it. So you're in the UK. So for me, my experience talking to people in different countries, especially the UK, 40 pounds or more is going to sell faster than under 40 pounds. So that being said, you want to focus on more expensive items and less items. As you can see here, if I'm looking in your store, you only had, you have 58 items sell, but a lot of them were more of the premium items that you had, the nicer clothing or the nicer antiques with like Georgian cutlery. I feel like that's a better search word than the previous one that we were looking at. So another thing that I would focus on here is your product mix. I tell people to focus on 3 categories that make $100 or more, so you can make $300 a day and net $100,000 per year, or 100,000 pounds in your case. So you don't have enough of any of categories to earn $100 a day, which means you generally don't develop enough knowledge or connections in that one niche to get there. So I almost recommend you just do one at a time. Figure out where these wooden boxes are coming from, get enough in stock so that you can sell and make at least $100 a day. Otherwise, I feel like it's not worth it to learn a niche if you're not going to make at least $100 a day, because there are so many people who make millions of dollars off of just one category. So you don't need to diversify that much, but then again, it depends on where you're getting your items. But I want you to focus on slowly getting more items in your store that are 40 pounds or higher. Also maxing out this. I'm not sure how the store subscriptions work in the UK, but you definitely want to get it. I would say at least 500 items before you make too many assumptions. So you can see here, not too many items over 40 pounds, which can really make your sell-through rate suffer, because the cheaper you get in items, you're competing against people who are selling brand new stuff for the same price. So unless your stuff is useful, rare, consumable, or fashionable, on trend, it's going to be very difficult to sell. And I think that you're having that experience right now because a lot of the stuff you have is either common, generic, non-consumable, or uncommon. So like Some of the stuff is rare, which is great. Like this helmet Coal Scuttle, there's probably not too many of them on eBay, but that might be something that moves quicker or never moves at all, just depending on if you find the right buyer. So hopefully that's useful. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always DM me or email me at 10konthebay@gmail.com if you want to follow up on any of these reviews. Let's go to NFS Tokyo Thrift. What's going on? One of the higher sell-through rates I have seen, 97 active, 82 sold in the last 90 days. That's a 28% sell-through rate, which means you are a great picker. You're picking stuff that's on trend, that people want, in demand, and it's selling at 1/3 per month, which is amazing. You can't really ask for more than that without giving your items away, and you have very, very good pricing. So one thing I would say for you, because your store is so small at 97 items, I think this could be one of the things that's going to slow you down, is not having a consistent process. Almost every single one of your listings has different pictures. It's in a different area, minus this hanger area, but they're all over your house. There's lots, there's not lots, there's outerwear, there's shoes, there's hats. Each time you switch categories or shorts, you are going to slow down your process, which is going to help prevent you from getting to the next level. So for you, I think I don't know you personally, but looking at your items, it looks like organization is going to be key. Using the same area over and over again creates speed. Selling the same types of items over and over again creates speed. You're doing the same thing. You've got a really nice pulse on things that are selling well and quickly in the clothing category. Just to give you an idea of how well you're doing, the average clothing sell-through rate is between 5 and 10%. So you're killing it. You're like 5 or 6 times faster than that because you're doing a really good job of picking. And this is a good indicator for people who are looking at these photos, in my opinion, are very average because you can see there's distracting stuff in the background. Not all of them are square. You're also looking at inconsistency in color. Like, the one good thing is that when you take photos without a lighting kit, most of the colors are accurate, right? So this is probably what the shirt's going to look like. If you do the pure white background like myself, sometimes the photos look better than in person, which can lead to returns and people being upset because it's never going to look as good as that pure white. That being said, your stuff sells really well currently, but you can see your store is really good. It doesn't have too many sub $20 items, which is excellent, because if you're going to have a small store like this, you want to be, a ninja and pinpoint specific products that are going to move quickly. I would offer free returns and charge for shipping. That's what I would do, but you have a very high sell-through rate already. I would just say if you need help growing your store, I would focus on making a route so you can go to more stores. Most people get 10 items from 5 stores. I can tell from looking at your store, you're more like getting 5 items from 10 stores. So for you, making sure you go in and out of more stores is the key for you to grow your store. Also having a consistent area that you take your photos in every single time so that your process is the same over and over again. And again, free returns is where eBay is going. There's a lot of big sellers pushing that. And eBay just takes care of the big sellers first, which is perfectly fine. But as sellers, we need to know that. So I would go towards free returns and charge for shipping. I also do not like this 15% sale because for me, a Polo Ralph Lauren hat could have a market value of $150, right? And this is maybe a 70% off deal at $66.10. I just feel like after going to the mall, 15% just doesn't feel like a lot. That being said, it is a good way to give you a boost in the ranking, but just make sure that you know that as a consumer, sometimes looking at 15% off doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't seem like that big of a sale. Again, take all of my advice with a grain of salt because, again, you have a really, really good sell-through rate. So I would say focus on getting more items in your store, get at least 250 items going, and that's going to help you grow. Being a great picker is a great skill. You've already spent some time learning this niche. Now you just need to bulk it up. Get a specific route, get your schedule going, and then maybe have a competition with yourself trying to get X amount of items listed per week. Profit Parrot, what's going on? Let's look at your store. You have 159 items, 71 sold in the last 90 days. That's a 14% sell-through rate. Again, excellent. Double or triple the average on eBay already. So you're doing okay for sell-through rate. You're probably hoping for more money, which is just going to come from either replenishables, so things that you can order that sell over and over again, or you're going to have a bigger store. Unfortunately, 159 is not too many. I would say at least you want to double that to $250 store, max out the basic store and start to focus on getting items that are $60 and over. If you're going to have a small store, you can't be small and have cheap items. That's not going to result in a lot of profit. I would shoot for square photos because so you can create some consistency in the look. You can see here, cropping it is great if that's your only option, but I definitely would try to aim for all square photos so it looks more like a store versus just your house. And again, the main reason for that is speed. It's not because pure white photos search better in Google. Yes, that it does search better in Google, but you can see people with horrible photos that sell things really quickly if they buy the right things. It's just for speed is the main key. When you have a consistent process, you can grow your store to thousands of items with very minimal friction if you just do the same thing over and over again. Accounting, photographs, titles. Your titles look fine to me. I would omit a little bit of like parentheses or asterisks or dashes because those can hurt your search ranking. I'd also use capitalized case, which is just the first letter being capitalized. I would put the brand first. There's a really good video that eBay just put up with how they want their titles written. That's in my videos. I literally just recorded the webinar and posted it back on eBay. So you guys can, or on YouTube, you guys can watch that to see how to write titles. But the main thing is brand first, then gender, then type, and then one descriptor. So you would go Robert Graham, men's shirt. That would be the way they recommend, but of course you can mix it up and it does not hurt your best match ranking for the order. So go ahead and just get all the keywords in there. One more thing that may increase your sell-through rate, believe it or not, is a shorter title. So if you have traffic coming in, for example, on striped or casual on this Robert Graham shirt, and they don't convert, it's actually potentially going to move you down in the search ranking because eBay doesn't want to waste that traffic. But if you just say Robert Graham shirt, blue, and that's it, your title is really short, then most likely it's only going to come up when someone searches that exact thing. And then when they buy it, eBay is going to think you're a great seller and move you higher in the ranking. But that being said, you already have a decent sell-through rate at 14%. It'd be very difficult to get above that in the categories that you sell. These Hirachis are nice. I sell these for about $50 shipped. It just depends. It's very saturated because there's a lot of these at Ross and Marshall's for like 16 to 25 bucks. So people pick them up and people will get afraid and sell them for 25 shipped. So you're competing against those people. So be patient there. I love the shoe hustle, but the retail arbitrage game can have small margins. Shirts are good. I wonder why it's $12.90 shipping. That seems like a lot because these should be able to. This should fit. It should be first class. They should fit at least in a medium flat rate box, which is a little bit. But you may be able to cram that into a padded flat rate. But $43 for a used hoodie is a little bit stiff. So I would adjust your shipping a little bit less. And for me, it's all about speed. So I have a flat $6.49 shipping or $6.99 shipping across every single item just to save me time. And again, even if you're doing a poor job with a couple thousand items, you're going to make more money than if you have a couple hundred item store, just because of the sheer volume. You start to get better, you learn things, you learn niches faster, and then you can also get a discount when you're buying bulk. So that's another thing that should be able to help you. These shoe photos are beautiful. I would just go square so that you can get the full experience on mobile. Let's see. Photos look great. Let me see here. Your product mix is too cheap heavy, meaning there's not enough items over $60. I'm searching high first. There's only 2 items over $60. So if you want to increase your sell-through rate, I would add in more $60 stuff, which generally sells at a 20% sell-through rate. Again, if it's useful, rare, consumable, or fashionable, or on trend. So one of those things, popular items will sell fast over $60. Under $60, you're competing when you sell pre-owned, like I said before, with brand new items that are cheap from China. So that just being said, make sure that you're going to make something more premium in your store. You're going to have less competition. That's just the way it is. I don't see a niche in your store other than maybe men's button-downs, and men's button-downs suck. I'm definitely getting out of that niche completely. It's so saturated. So, I mean, I'm having difficulty selling shirts at $10. Bugatti, Robert Graham, those shirts have definitely taken a huge hit for me too. They used to sell for 50 to 80, now they sell for $40. So big difference now. Nordstrom Rack is just pumping these out at 30 to $40 new. So it's like that really hurts the market when all these brands are, even brands like Etro or Enro or Hugo Boss, they're pumping out tons at 20 or $30 brand new, and it just makes the used market just tank. Let's see. And again, I would recommend getting the 3 niches that make $100 a day, and I think you need 1,000 button-down shirts to make $100 a day. That's so tough to get to 1,000 button-downs to get to that $100 mark, which is where I've been there. I've had 2,000 button-downs in my store before, and that is not easy. It's much easier to have 400 pairs of shoes and get that $100 a day bucket. So again, if you guys have any questions, email me at 10konthebay@gmail.com if you want to get a review there in the description below. Appreciate you guys' time and patience, and have a great day.